being a realtor or a real estate agent, you can be other business owners while still having this hat on, right? I always say we got two hats, realtor and then investor.
Yes.
An investor is short-term rentals, portfolios. I mean, there's 1,000 different ways here. Here we have our fiduciary responsibility for our clients. Whether they're selling or buying, we have to make sure their best interest in mind. But when that goes left or right and we can't help them in that world, this is when this hat has to go on so we can get creative, so we can pivot for their benefit.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
What's going on? Another episode, Your Peak Life. DJ Julian Rivera here. Edgar the Sphere Munoz, even though he's covering the Sphere up today with a hat. You actually have never seen him with a hat on, just to be clear. But again, it's never about just him.
They make him my size.
I know, it's good for you. I mean, they don't make it my size, though. My head, I got a big head.
I hit him with a joke.
I'm like,
the forehead jokes.
Yeah.
His forehead's 10 minutes early.
He's already starting, bro.
Just like me today.
See? Hey, you better watch that. I'm just putting that out there.
quick.
So he's already starting. I can't even do a proper introduction to our guests, all right? So thank you, Edgar, for being rude. On top of that, it's not just him and I here today. We have the one and only Mickey Wright. You've seen her on social media. You've seen her around town. I saw her at my New Year's Eve party getting it in, just to be clear, when we brought in 2025 at Waterside. But on top of that, you're seeing her here right now. Mickey, what's going on, girl?
Hey, a whole lot.
A whole lot.
A whole lot's going on, yes.
We were talking about
Happy
a lot
to be here.
before the show started.
Yeah.
So, like, you're busy.
I am busy.
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 That's a good busy.
Yes, blessed and busy.
Busy and blessed.
Yes.
That's one of my mottos too. We're gonna get along. Funny thing is, like, I've known her, we've known each other, we've seen each other, but we've never met until like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like in person at least.
Yeah.
So the fact that she came on the show today, she understands we're gonna be talking about a bunch of different topics. But Nikki, I want you to introduce yourself first to the audience.
All right.
A lot of people know you, but just in case there's somebody out there that doesn't know you, tell us who Mickey is.
All right. Hi, everyone. So I'm Mickey Wright Neely. I am a realtor here in Hampton Roads and have been for, it'll be 11 years in July.
Okay.
Believe it or not. It's been a long time. I am a mother of two. I'm a boy mom. I got two little boys, 4 and 9, and I am recently married. My anniversary is actually just passed. So we're on 2 years. And I am a local influencer in the area as well. I partner with a lot of local businesses. I'm a military relocation professional, so that partnership served the purpose, right? My clients quite often are coming from everywhere. I feel like it's super important to show them the area, so I get to know our area more. I get to show what's so great about the local area here in Hampton Roads, and I get to meet local businesses, awesome people, and realize that there's so much more life outside of real estate, and that's what I'm all about.
Absolutely.
So where are you from originally?
I'm originally from St. Croix.
Okay.
I was born in St. Croix.
Nice.
Yeah, most of my family is still in the islands, but I grew up in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
the birds. And I've been, do we like that? Yeah, we love it. And I've been in Virginia, it'll be 13 years in December.
So how many years being in a place do you really feel it takes to make someone a local?
Once your baby is born here, that was it. You can once my son was born here, I'm like, this it. My family has now started in Virginia, so that was it for me.
Okay.
Other than that, I said you got to put in at least a decade.
Okay.
You got a decade to be a local.
Right.
You can live somewhere, 5-ish years, but a local, you know everything after.
I mean, you check both boxes then, right? You got a baby.
I'm all the way in.
You got 10 years here. And then I say that because most people aren't from the area. Like, to be fair, you're not from the area.
That.
You're
learned
from
that quick.
I'm not from the area. I haven't even lived here 10 years.
Correct. How many years has it been?
This will be 9.
9 years. Are you getting close there?
Local-ish.
Getting there.
Ish, right.
Local-ish.
But do you
That's
feel
what I'm
like
about.
your 9 years being here feels more like home than anywhere else you lived?
I'd say almost, man.
Okay.
Even like we were talking about the dome.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were creating all that stuff around it. Like I'm not there yet. You definitely help though.
Right.
Like
I mean, being in the
with
room.
all the events and everything.
I'll definitely let you know is what's going to happen.
Dope.
But it's like with me, I came down here when I was 2 from New York. My uncle's in the Marines, but I never left. So I don't know how much more local I can be outside having my birth certificate from Virginia Beach. But
it.
I've been down here my whole life, and I never left. I've traveled everywhere. I've never had let me rephrase that. I've had the opportunity to live other places, but I'll give Felipe, my man Felipe, credit on this. He's like, dude, you live in one of the best places to live, to raise a family. Why move when you can just travel and visit everywhere you want to go anyway? I'm like, that's true because I have 5 kids. I started mad young. I don't recommend that, but I do. And my oldest being 21 and 20, knowing that now, looking back, I'm like, he was right. And I wasn't going anywhere. I stayed here because I had the kids. I want to develop roots, and I know the system because I've been through the schools and everything. But I mean, you can agree on that. You said that mad times before. Like if you were thinking about moving back to Cali, strictly just based on school systems and kids, it's night and day. I mean, it's just,
no, I'm staying here. That was a big decision for us. Like, we did go back a little over a year ago just to go check it out, family reunion, and then at that point, we even asked the children. We were like, "Do you guys want to move to California?" I was at that point where we're maybe gonna pivot.
Yeah. Hi.
And no, the kids like, "No, we want to stay in Virginia."
That's big time. I heard that. Virginia
right.
And so
over Cali.
Yeah, and I mean, I gotta agree with them. You know, as far as everything I know about California, forget the prices.
Yeah.
You can't beat the landscape of California.
Agreed.
You can't.
Agreed.
But when it comes for the price, the community, the beaches, the entertainment, everything you get here, yeah, it's good.
Community.
Yeah.
For sure.
Community, all the like today, the whole Polynesian communities at my house every Friday to practice for Polyfest coming up in August. So and then that's the other thing. You got to build your community.
Yeah.
Right.
But the moment you do, it's there. And that's what I've learned in the last couple of years. If you just put yourself out there, then you're going to find your community.
Right.
I spent a lot of time not doing that.
Right.
I've been pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, my wife is a social butterfly. She has found every single poly out here, Polynesian. And then let me just go back to something you said in the beginning. So you were there at the New Year's party at Waterside.
Yeah. Oh, you were there too.
I was there too. Yeah, we left early.
Yeah, you left. You left. Like, I got on. All right, I saw him. I'm out.
I did not. The lights were on.
She said the whole time.
I was like, no, that's cool. I was in the corner like tired, like, oh man, it's almost bedtime. Yeah, we actually, me and my wife snuck off, and his wife, we all left. And we were like, all right, let's go get some food, go back to the house and chill.
Man, see, I should have left early because when we left the lights on, all I wanted was a burger. I'm talking about, and there was nothing.
Burger King was open.
LA got Virginia beat there. I couldn't get a burger to say while I was so hungry. It's New Year's
mom and pop
Eve.
shops.
Can I get a truck outside of Waterside, please?
Yeah, and then so you and me have been in similar locations because you were there for the New Year's party and the Real Producers we were just talking about. So which was a cool event, and funny we didn't bump into each other.
I mean, to be fair, getting in the room is one of the hardest things to do because some people just showing up, like that's half the battle, right? Whether it's the gym, whether it's a new business, whether it's for the kid, that's half the battle. And then it's up to you what you do when you're in the room. You decided to get in the room, AKA in the area 13 years ago, right? So now you've built your own community, you've built your database, you've built your friend group, you've built the kids, you know, all that stuff. And then you just got married recently, right? So you've built a lot being down here. Outside of business, what's keeping you in the area? What has attracted you to stay in the Hampton Roads area?
The potential. And again, it's hard for me not to draw it back to business, but we are in such a unique area. So having learned as much as I've learned through real estate and knowing how much more I want, I don't plan to go anywhere else in the United States. I'll say that, right? I'm not moving until I can leave the country, right? That's end goal is to have my family legacy be somewhere else completely. They're like, oh yeah, great grandmama, she used to live in Virginia, and they're like, where? And I'm like, that's the goal for them to just be so far removed, but still have roots here because of all the real estate, accomplishments I plan to hand down to them. So the potential here, the community between the schools, we got Mike Vick now, again, go Birds.
Right.
The military, I've always had a soft spot for our military, even though very few people in my family served. When I was in college, this was, 9/11 time. I'm a millennial, elder millennial, if you will. During that time, it was 9/11, and we realized that, people were coming back and sitting in classes with us that had been to war. So we started a program at my college to recognize the student veterans. And I headed up that program. Nothing to do with military at all. I had nothing tied me to it. It was just important to me. And I've carried that with me throughout my entire life, and that's why I became a military relocation professional as well. So I love the close ties that I have here to our military. They're the best people in the world, in my opinion, regardless of whatever is going on. I have so much respect for them and their families. My son's a military kid, so I have a lot of respect for it. So that's what's keeping me here. The potential, it's a melting pot. It's like New York without New York.
Right.
Right? So many different people are here. You know, you don't step over quite as many people literally on the street. Yep. So I get that vibe, and growing up north, I miss that.
Yeah.
So I get like, I don't want to say a watered down version here, but one that's easier to stomach and raise a family in my opinion.
Ding, ding, ding. Right there. I think that family word comes into play because even when I moved down here from New York, like I was mad young. I was 2 years old. Like I don't remember that. But their reasoning, outside of my uncle being a Marine getting stationed down here, he could have been stationed anywhere, right? And I think they would have gone anywhere he went. They just happened to get stationed down here, the biggest military installation area in the country. Yep. They just wanted to get out of that city and didn't want to raise me in Washington Heights, Manhattan, where it was heavy Dominican, heavy Puerto Ricans, and it was just like mad hood back then, from what they told me. And this is the 80s. So I'm like, whatever. I mean, I can barely talk. I'm 2 years old. Like, I got to go wherever you go anyway. So that coming down here and then seeing, you guys weren't here, but I just seen it grow. Like, just so much. It's ridiculous where it's gone.
I was here in 2000 with this. When I joined the military, I went to boot camp, what we call A school, and then I came here to Virginia Beach and C school. Yeah. And I remember the oceanfront being hood.
Bro. It was
was like 99, 2000. So I remember that Virginia Beach back then. And I've seen, obviously I came back here in early 2017, so I know what it looks like now, or even then what it was looking like.
Right.
Do not cuss. And stuff
oh my goodness! See, I visited quite a few times before I moved down here because my oldest son's father, military. We were high school sweethearts, right?
Gotcha.
So he got stationed down here and just never left.
Yep.
So we have reconnected, and that's not who I'm married to now. But I visited here quite often, and I remember it being hood. I remember some guy leaning on my car, and I'm just like, "Hey, can you get off my car?" He's like, "What? F you, bitch! It's the 757." I'm like, I was like, "What is the 757? Like, what does that mean? Get off of my car, regardless of where we are. Get off my vehicle." I was all types of stuff. So I remember the hood oceanfront too, even though I was not living here.
Yeah, and Peabody's is still here. That's all I knew about the oceanfront was Peabody's, and I just went to go see midget wrestling.
He did.
Oh God!
He literally did.
Which was a great time.
And he didn't invite. He bought tickets before inviting me. I just
Dwarfinator. So, go check them out.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, they didn't have enough room for that sphere over there.
No, you can't use my word that I use on you.
How old are your?
See, though, he switched subject.
Boys, the 9-year-old will be 10 in August, and my youngest is 4. He'll be 5 in November.
Okay. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Both born here. So Virginia boys. I got one Virginia Beach and one from Norfolk.
There you go.
Okay.
That's what's up.
And also, you know what makes you a local? When you can say Norfolk.
Norfolk.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm like, Norfolk? They're like, oh, you are not from here. I'm like, what? It says Norfolk. What else am I? They're like, no.
And then the non-locals are the Norfolk. Yeah. I don't want to say it the bad way. I'm like, that's not how you say it.
That's not how you say it
like,
anyway.
What are we doing here? No. So you've been here 13 years.
Yeah.
You've been in real estate for over a decade.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So then the one thing that we've learned in real estate, right? Usually our why getting into it because we want to help people and we know that you can make money.
Yep.
Let's just be real.
Yep.
That's usually the initial why. And then when you get into it, you realize there's so much more to this.
Yes.
Not necessarily just verticals for income, but so many more verticals that you can impact people in different ways. Because not everybody traditionally can buy a house the old-fashioned way. We want people to be pre-approved. We want people to have dope credit. We want people to be able to get into that route. But then when we get into a position that we know we can pivot, we're talking about pivoting a lot here, but pivot for them because we know what we're talking about now and they're trusting us in this process with the biggest purchase of their life. You can get into these other forms of real estate that can potentially help you start building that equity for the rest of your life or building that portfolio or just whatever the hell you need to do. And with you've pivoted into a few other ventures now, right? Like I believe you got some Airbnbs.
I have one Airbnb. Yep.
Okay, perfect. And when did you get into the short-term rental game?
We purchased that house. It's actually my little brother and I, who lives in Pennsylvania still. Yep. He's always down for whatever I'm down for. Honestly, he's my best friend. Okay. But we bought that in April of last year. So,
dope. Okay.
And it went live in June.
Okay.
So we're a year in.
How was your first summer?
Oh my God, we had our first booking was the day after we went live.
Damn right.
And it was terrifying because it was another Airbnb host. I was like, no. You cannot be serious. My first booking, and he was so kind. We have a perfect 5-star rating.
Good.
We're superhost. I love it. It's my baby. I clean it myself. I fired a cleaner multiple times. It's like the hardest part of it, I'd say. But I love it. It's a lot of fun.
It's like you get to run a business under the business, right? Because being a realtor or a real estate agent, you can be other business owners while still having this hat on, right? I always say we got two hats, realtor and then investor.
Yes.
An investor is short-term rentals,
Yes.
portfolios. I mean, there's 1,000 different ways
Yeah.
here. Here we have our fiduciary responsibility for our clients, whether they're selling or buying. We have to make sure their best interest in mind. But when that goes left or right, and we can't help them in that world, this is when this hat has to go on, so we can get
Yes.
creative, so we can
Yes.
pivot for their benefit. So
that's
technically,
part
it's
of
still
it.
this. It's the same responsibility.
Yes.
It's just sometimes it doesn't work in this world.
Yeah.
But you gravitated to doing that.
Yeah.
You kind of got the taste, right? Like you
Yeah.
get a little hit, like I want more, right? I
Yes.
want more. So like, now that you have that, like what other avenues are you starting to explore in the real estate world that are just checking the boxes for what Mickey wants?
Oh, well, funny you should ask. My husband and I actually just closed on our HELOC.
Damn right.
So we
All
are
right.
going into the deep investing world, I'll say.
Okay.
So first 2 will be fix and flips.
Yep.
Right, because we have a goal to pay the HELOC back as soon as possible. It's not to keep it there, right?
Yeah.
You can end up in a bad way if you don't pay your HELOC back. So first few will be fix and flips, and then we're going to do some buy and holds as well.
Dope.
And just through talking about that online, I've come across so many other agents and wholesalers that do it that I am learning from, and that I get to share with my husband because he has the 9 to 5,
Yep.
and doesn't have the same exact mindset as I do. But when he can see people like him and like me, he's just like, another one? I'm like, yes, he just bought another one. Are you ready? Are you ready now? So
DJ Khaled, another one.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I want one so bad. All I do all day is just look at houses. It's crazy. It's weird. It feels weird. It's
not weird. It's
I
a good.
look
it's-
at them all day.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
driver,
good.
I'm just like, power wash it, pressure wash it, clean up this. You should do the landscaping.
Right.
But
it's also the experience. It's like go from one house where
Yeah.
I was just at, it was like a hoarder house, to this other home, which is pristine. It's like you get to see all levels
Yeah.
sometimes.
And then you kind of, from doing it, you get to learn the stories of how that started there and ended up the hoarder house, right? You get to understand people more through real estate and empathize more
Right.
with people and try to be the wholesome wholesaler who's not,
Yeah.
the shady one, but actually trying to
Yeah.
help somebody out
Yeah.
of a bad situation,
Well, I was
which is who I want to be.
Right.
I was talking to Julian last night about one
Yeah.
deal that I got that I'm going to pull the trigger on it, but it was literally it wasn't even a past client. It was a friend of my wife's. They served together, and it's just, hey, know you're in real estate.
Yeah.
We're going to be moving out. We don't care. We're letting this go to foreclosure. Like, that was the conversation. We're like, hold on, let's look at it. What's
Yeah.
going on? You get the backstory. You go there.
Yeah.
It is a mess, but nothing crazy we can't handle. But absolutely, they don't have enough room to sell. But we buy, we hold it.
Right.
And the whole situation is her son's in prison because of this house. They've had
my
multiple
word.
altercations there, things like that.
Right.
In a great neighborhood.
That's right.
The house with history.
Yeah. So it's like, let's come in there and rejuvenate the
Yeah.
place
Yeah.
and change that.
See, but we're in a position right now as realtors that, to be fair, are you a realtor or real estate agent?
Realtor.
Fiduciary.
The whole time. I got it.
Oh, she covered the pin with that hair. I couldn't
put
see
it
that.
on
I see.
today.
Okay.
I noticed it.
It's on the.
You know, I knew that, and it's just
I
like,
was like,
It's there. MRP. Go ahead.
that's like calling you Mikey instead of Mickey. I want to make sure.
Which I get. I
I'm
don't
not-
understand. It's spelled like the mouse.
Right.
It's the easiest version of Mickey to pronounce.
Yeah.
Mikey, I'm like, you for real?
Yeah.
This-
People can't read. It's okay. Education systems. But the one thing that we, and I didn't realize this I think none of us realized this when we first got in there. And please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But we get into this game knowing that we're trying to help people buy and sell a house.
Yeah.
Right? But then there's so many underlying verticals in that you don't really understand until you start getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, you now have an opportunity that is going to help you and your family while helping another family.
right.
Yeah.
Avoid foreclosure.
Do you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yep.
that right
Increase
there
the
is
neighborhood's
huge.
value.
It's
Yeah.
huge. And a lot of the ones that I'm getting, that you're getting is because people already know, like, and trust us,
Yeah.
and they're coming to us first,
Yeah.
right? So if we can't help them with the problem, then we're not doing our job.
Yeah.
Whether we can do it or if we can call somebody else. Like you said yesterday, you might have one that, I don't know, it's going to make sense, that has the solar panels or whatever.
Woo.
And to be fair, you might not want this, Julian, but I'll still get you the details. Because now if he can't take that one on and then it makes sense for what I'm doing, because all of our visions are different, even though they're aligned, then that might make sense. Because I'm at a place now, I need some loss leaders because everything else is winning. So like I have over 30 doors. And like with me, I need to get to a number. Well, I don't need to. I'm going to get to a number because that's what I set in my head, whether it's the sub-2 route, whether it's the buy and hold, whether it's the STRs, it doesn't matter. But that's my vision for my retirement plan. And I vocalize that with my internal crew, like, yo, I'm going to do this. First off, I want y'all to win too. If it doesn't make sense for y'all, then let's have this conversation. But the creativity and providing that value to our clients is huge because all they have is this.
Yes.
And there's mad information on this.
There's too much information.
But can you trust all the information on this without having these conversations?
Right.
And what you're doing now is that you've gone all in on yourself, it sounds like. You already got your first STR last year, right? You're taking a HELOC out, just in case y'all don't know, home equity line of credit, and you can only take that on your primary residence, okay? You can take out the value of the equity depending anywhere from 70 to 80 to 90 to 100% LTV, depending what bank or credit union you go to. So you're getting that HELOC now, but you did that knowing you had to plan with it. Yeah. You ain't just take it out and take it out, right? See what I'm saying?
Right. That's when it goes bad.
Correct. And then typically, are your terms like pay back in 15 years or whatever the case may be? There's 1,000 different ways to do it, but your goal, I don't care what your term is, you want to pay that ish back ASAP.
Yep.
See, but you're going all in yourself because let's talk about worst case scenario. What happens if you don't pay that back?
Right. You can lose your house. That's worst case scenario. There goes. Flat out.
But whose house?
My house.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Not an investment property, nothing else. So she's going all in on herself because she has that confidence in her now that she's done it already. You know, like, oh, that's all you got to do. But it takes a minute to build that confidence. Yeah. But that confidence is energy, and that energy is transferable to the clients that you work
100%.
with. So when you're helping them, what is like your value add that you bring to the table to the clients when you're talking to them? They're like, you know what? I'm going with Mickey.
Transparency.
Okay.
I am nothing if not transparent, and I didn't get into real estate for the let's help people reasons at first, right? It was super vain. It was just like, oh, I want to be cute, and I'm tired of people telling me what to do. So I want to try to work for myself and make a lot of money while I'm doing it. And I got humbled for 6 years, for the record.
How so?
Because I was brand new to Virginia at the time. Remember, I've been here for 13 years, but I've been an agent for 11.
Got you.
So I was in the cellular industry for 11 years. I worked for T-Mobile and Sprint.
Okay.
That's my background. I sold cars for Driver's World here as well. So I've always been in sales. It's always been my thing. And I assume if I could sell cars and I could sell houses, I could sell phones, I could sell some houses. Oh my gosh, that's not how that works at all. I didn't know anybody, and I'm actually a very introverted person.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, hell up. I don't believe that one bit.
Oh, yeah, listen. Waterside was something different. I had free drink tickets.
Oh, there you go. All right, fair. All right, liquid courage.
Yes,
all right, I got you.
Yes. So I wasn't doing any of the things I needed to. I didn't know what to do. I went to like the oldest brokerage ever. This was when it was William E. Wood.
Oh, right.
That's where I started.
I've heard of that place.
I had my own. The one over there was it maybe Great Bridge? I can't remember where it was. But anyway, I got into it for not the right reasons, and I learned so much, and it's allowed me to pivot. And now that I've done it for so long, and I understand the benefit of it, and I know that our community doesn't buy as many houses because they don't know how. Like you said, all they have is the phone, or auntie or grandma that bought it with 20% down when they were $45,000 houses. I'd tell you to put 20% down if the house was $45,000 now too, but they're not. They're $450,000. So how can we do this? So after selling 1 to 2 houses a year for 6 years, now I found myself in the face of a pandemic, right? Mm-hmm. So now it's 2020. I'm in a loving relationship, find out I'm pregnant, and the world shuts down. I was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do now? And I picked up my phone. I was like, get on social media. And social media completely changed my life. When I had no money at all, I have he was now boyfriend, fiance, now husband to lean on. I invested in a business program. My mentor is in Atlanta, Kiana Watson. Shout out to Kiana Watson. Love her to death. But I joined her Agent Tools for Success program, even though I really couldn't afford it. And that was it. One connection from there pays for the program for a year. And I just started leaning on community. It started with an online community for me because, we couldn't go outside. But I grew that online community. I made all the awkward videos. I was dancing. I was lip syncing. I was having fun. I learned to be myself. And people really liked me. It was surprising, right? You like yourself, but you're like, I don't really know if this goes over well. And people really... They liked me, and it worked, and it took off so much pressure. I'm like, I could just be in the house and doing this, and it changed my life. Every year from the moment I did that, I've had the best year yet. And it's not the craziest, right? But I'm top 15%. I'm top 300 in the Real Producers event. That's how I got there. Was part of that pivoting. I started sharing my story, which was I was a former single mom. I was on unemployment. I was on SNAP a couple years ago, before that this great relationship that I was in. So I shared that story as a single mom, and I started to attract single moms and single women. So that became my client base. And as the world changed, they started to price out of the South Side. But I was like, no one's going to tell y'all can't get these houses. I'm going to figure it out. And I learned how to get creative. I've coined something that I call shopping backwards.
Okay.
That's how I structure my home searches. So y'all feel free to take it if you want to. But I go for the oldest house on market first, and that's how I start. I'm never looking at brand new.
Yeah.
I know how to speak to people. I have a clear process where last year every single one of my buyers, including myself, got closing cost assistance, even in multiple offer situations.
Dope.
Like, I'm good. I can say that. And that's what changed it for me, for sure.
You said a lot of things that were gems there. I want to be clear on this one,
Okay.
but you and I have more in common than you actually think, because in 2020, COVID hit. Yeah. Right? Everyone experienced it.
Yep. Yeah, right.
There was a lot of bad.
We're all there.
There was a lot of bad that came with COVID. It was the uncertainty, locked up. I lost loved ones. I'm sure there's people that that did. If it didn't affect you personally, that's like the worst thing that we possibly could happen.
Yeah.
But most of the time, people focus on the empty part of the glass, not the other glass being half full. In real time, it's hard to see what that could be because it didn't happen yet.
Yeah.
But all of us had to pivot. Some people stay complacent and they just chilled and did what they needed to do. But I was 100%, not 100%. I was very, very, very heavy into the entertainment world. Okay. DJing. I mean, you've been my party. Like, I've been doing this for a long time, right? This is what I do. But that stopped overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, hospitality and entertainment was done. And I wasn't just doing that. I was booking DJs. I had staff. I mean, we stopped. But that was the best thing that ever could have happened to me, because it gave me one thing, and it gave you something that I don't think you had. It was your time. Yeah. It gave you the time to pivot, because we always thought about doing it, right? You were already in the game, but it makes you pivot in a different way. But from agent to ownership, right? There was a pivoting time. It might not happen.
I was still an agent. I was just starting a team, no owner.
Even well, not necessarily in 2020. Like 2020 was when it started, and then it was the domino effect of the next few years, right? Because we're still, I guess almost 5 years post pandemic, right? Yep. So you got to think 5 years ago where we're all at. Like, it's interesting to see who took it as a W and who took the L. Because mad people we know are still doing the same shit. And there's nothing wrong with that if they're happy with that. I'm not talking bad about anybody. Right. But when you felt that your back was to the wall, you did. Yeah. I mean, you were on Snap. You probably had EBT at one point in time. I did too back in the day.
That's what Like, that's what EBT is now.
That's what it is.
We call it Snap.
Facts, right? Like, I get it.
More letters, but we can say one word now.
Facts, right? It sounds a little nicer, right?
It sounds nicer. You go Snap. That's
in there,
food stamps.
In there, and all of that. Like, see, I'm of the mindset. Like, when all that shit was happening, like, I literally looked at my wife like, I'll probably have to pick up a lawnmower, go more houses, because I ain't got to talk to nobody. Leave the money under the damn carpet.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I was really thinking about that, because they were talking about shutting down the industry. Yeah. Right. So that was the situation. And also at the time, I was paying for Zillow leads and things like that. So there was a bill coming in every month.
And that shit's not cheap. But,
no, it's not.
But it gave us the time, right? And what did we do with the time? All three of us, we monetized in it in a different way, right? So I didn't go on TikTok and start DJing like mad people did. Little did I know, a lot of those people are slaying it right now that didn't have the opportunities, right? That's one thing I didn't do, but it did help me pivot in a different way to go in a more professional route, still keeping my old life married to my new life. Yeah. And I say that a lot. Like, the people don't have to give up what they used to do if you can marry it to what you're currently doing. So I monetized on that in a way that I was already helping people. I was already creating memories, sometimes a lot of drunken ones, sometimes corporate or wedding memories, right? It's the same concept in this joint. A lot of the same contracts, a lot of the same visions, a lot of the same conversations, specifically when talking about private events and weddings, because you have a lot of things you have to hit along the way. And you're planning months in advance to do these bigger events. It's not just showing up to the block and spinning for a drunken night. I did that a long time ago. So I don't do that no more. But I say that only because you pivoted in a good way to make it make sense for you first, and then your family second, right? So now that you've made that pivot, what was the number one thing during COVID that said, you know what, let's fucking go? I'm going all in right now, because you've gone all in yourself multiple times since then, but give yourself this one thing while you're thinking about it. Yeah. You probably never really went all in yourself until that time.
Yeah, it was the lack of care that I saw our government give to all of us. It was, we're shut down, but I could still go to Wendy's and get food, but everyone else has to stay home. It was them labeling people as essential. And everyone else wasn't.
Right.
And we're going through a pandemic where you guys are putting bodies in freezers because you're out of room. People are dying over iPads.
Yeah.
And you're still sending certain people to work. And I never wanted to be in that category again.
Right.
I wanted to make my own essential category, and I just decided I would never clock back in again. I had went off on Twitter back then, and ended up talking to like one of the main top people at T-Mobile. I had already quit at that point.
Okay.
As soon as they shut everything, I'm like, I found out I was pregnant. I was like, I can't go touching people's phones. We don't know what COVID is. And I was like, you guys still have people in these stores touching phones, and it's not right. And it was just that for me. Like I'm a people girl.
Yeah.
I am for the people, all about fairness, and I thought it was very unfair in that people were dying. It's like, okay, but are you coming in today? You can have an extra hour.
Right.
And it just did not work for me. And that was like, I'm never going back. That was it. That was all that I needed.
I think that pissed most of the people off, right?
Yeah.
It was like the big corporations stay open, mom and pop shops, you need to shut down.
Yeah.
Facts. Right.
Yeah.
The rules are put your mask on, go sit down.
Yeah.
Then you take it off.
Exactly.
Like, why can't do that over there also?
Yep.
Well, and we haven't asked. What's your husband's name?
Aaron.
Aaron. What is Aaron?
I'm gonna get in so much trouble. I get in trouble all the time for like not introducing.
No, it's
him.
cool. We're bringing it
So
in.
bad.
We're bringing it in.
Okay.
All right. He got his wife's Cookie. My wife's Myra. Your
Okay.
husband's Aaron. All right.
Mhm.
Aaron with an E or A?
Aaron.
Aaron.
There
All
you
right.
go.
And then what does Aaron do?
He works for Cox.
All right. So he works for
Yes.
Cox Cable. So now we all can't be where we're at without support.
Yes.
Right. I mean, we can be, but we can't really tell that story because
Yeah.
that's not the choice we made.
Yeah.
We made a choice to have the support because
Yes.
we're in a position right now where we're all happily married.
Yes.
Okay. And you're probably the most newest out of all of us. So shout out to you. But you've been together for years, and that
Yes.
support was vitally helpful. Now, during, him being super supportive over the past few years, and I'm trying to help you get credit on this one, Aaron. Could you have done this without Aaron?
Oh, absolutely not.
Ding, 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 ding.
I
You're welcome.
say that.
Right.
Oh, he is my best friend. Oh my
Good.
gosh, all my years, he is everything. And it wasn't like big, bold, blatant support. It was just his support. He's a calming person.
Okay.
He's a very just chill and zen, just like it's gonna be okay person. He's very relaxed, and I'm the complete opposite, right? ADHD, anxiety, autistic, the whole nine. That's me.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that, right? And he's my complete opposite, and he was there to ground me. He was there to just support me. It's like, you could do it. And literally at that time when he told me it was okay to quit my job, I had never sold more than 2 houses.
Yeah.
And now we're expecting a baby. We were renting our first house, and he works at Cox. Typical 9 to 5, great job, but no boost in income like the potential for real estate. But he had never seen me perform on that level and believed in me and just said, just go ahead, do it. And that was it. So it was, of course, part of being mad at the government. The other part was like, he believes in me like no one ever has. Do it. For him, for you, for this growing family that you are just so blessed to have.
Yeah.
I loved my family hard. And that was it for me.
Did Aaron do some of your recordings?
Did he do what? Oh my goodness! No,
Did he give you honest
he
critique?
didn't. No, he didn't. He would give me critique. He still does.
Did he ever look at your videos and be like,
he does.
nah, you might want to take
Yes,
okay.
he does. God bless him. He catches all my typos. He catches. I mean, it could be posts. He's like, oh, you spelled.
Yep.
That's spelled Coliseum. I spelled that wrong. Thanks, Facebook.
Yep.
But he does. He helps me out.
That's dope.
Does he ever say you do too much? My wife called me out and said I
it
do
was
too
in
much.
our vows that I don't do too
Is it
much.
because you miss your kids' like concerts?
I was actually at hers last night. Thank you very much. And where were you at? You weren't there.
No, mine was the other day.
No, you
It
weren't
was
there.
different days.
You weren't there.
Yeah.
Wait, is she rising 8th grader or 9th grader?
7th grader, bro.
So she won't be with.
Yeah,
Johnny's the rising
different-
senior.
whole
So they'll
different grade.
miss because then
Yeah.
I was hoping she'd be senior.
That's
be
why I
freshman.
wasn't there.
Yeah.
Kids older too.
So I got a 12-year-old. They're in band or whatever. So I give
What
them shit.
instrument?
I was getting their shit because one day we were there. His wife was there. He wasn't there. I was like, I'll support
One
for
day.
your kids.
One day.
I'll be here. I'll be here
He was
for
doing
you.
too much.
I was doing too much. Yeah.
Fair.
And when I meant that statement, it's like I'm on social. I do a lot of events, podcasts. We're doing real estate, and to be fair, unless you're in the game, you don't realize how that all correlates to the goal, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, as we keep growing in the business, until we can grow and work on the business, you still have to work in the business,
Yeah.
and all of this is working towards that.
Yeah.
So I don't like if I'm not DJing, I don't go out. Like I just don't.
DJing,
I mean,
yeah.
but if I'm not throwing the event in some way, I don't go out because people are like, "Yo, you're out all the time." Like, yo, I'm working, bro. Like, I'm working the event. And also, as I've gotten older, I like feel weird going out. I'm like, I don't even want to talk to people. It's kind of weird unless it's like a real estate networking event or something.
Yeah.
If it's just a typical going out, I'm like, what do I do with my hands? Like, what am I doing? I'm just chilling.
We like bring up like a fake microphone so he just hold it all night.
I'm here.
Like,
I'm here.
Yeah, like, here you go. Calm down, bro.
I'm like, do I need to go on stage yet? No. Okay, I'm just saying, no, just fucking drink, Julian.
That completely. I don't go out unless it's with this community that I've built, I've become a local influencer, which is why I was at Waterside. I was invited.
Yep.
I get to go to all of the events now. I get the VIP treatment, get the free drink tickets.
Yep.
It's always a great time. But I'm not going outside. I don't touch my phone unless I'm working. I don't want to be on the phone. I don't want to be outside, but I also want to be outside.
Facts.
But I love that I could do that and work at the same time. And I get to do that all the time. Just went to the Patriotic Festival.
Yeah.
I got invited. I have a partnership with 7 venues, so I get to go to I get to go to the concerts and the musicals, Broadway, all that fun stuff. And again, I get to tie that in and share Hampton Roads with the people who are coming. And to me, all roads lead back to real estate, and it's so cool. Like, I just love it. And he gets to see that, and he gets to benefit now. He's the camera person for all these events. So he didn't start as the cameraman.
There you go.
But he is now. He's I got to pour the drink. Hold on. No one touch your food. It's very much those vibes, and he's just so patient.
Look, you got to be, because it took me a while to get, even to the point where it's like my wife, the women are like, let me take a picture of the food.
Yep.
Hold
There's
on.
a means
Go ahead.
to an end here.
Yeah,
We're
but
working.
That's social media now. Like, now I'm like happy when I get my little checks from Facebook. It's like, oh, look at me.
Meta deposit. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, just for doing this shit I used to hate.
Doing what you were going to do anyway, though.
Yeah.
It is. And
Like,
it's like,
I'm gonna take a picture
I don't have, I see people, 6,000, 10,000, whatever followers. I got like 2,600
But it don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And I'm getting paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay.
Exactly.
It don't matter.
I'll take it.
That was something I learned early on.
But I can't get on the
conference I
camera
went
like
to.
you. You do a good job. Because I saw your video for the Real Producers event. Again, it was like, oh, come take the tour. I was like, this chick was
It's
there.
a template. It's so easy. Y'all are working way too hard. If you don't hop in CapCut.
No, all I do,
I got it, and I pay for it.
Good, as you should.
And I pay for
pro
big
only.
And he don't even use it. That's the funny part. It's kind of like hair for
can't.
men. He doesn't use it either to grow it back.
It's my kryptonite. It's my kryptonite. I can't.
That's why he got a hat on. So.
Yeah, I'll take it off. No, I'll keep it on.
No, it's like, if you don't have it, get these. Like, cheese, you need to get these. Like, these are clutch. I'm telling you, they come in.
Awesome.
So now I just
glasses.
they come in handy. I mean, I got to say something else to you, Edgar. Just so you know, Myra said that you're not built for selling houses. You're built to build them. I just want you to know that.
That's true. I'm Mexican.
That's why she said that. It was hilarious. I died for 5 minutes yesterday when she said that. I just want to be clear. Myra, thank you for that joke, because I'm going to use that forever.
Good.
All right?
Yeah, no, it is true. That's why. But I'm Americanized Mexican. That's why I own the company.
There you go. It's a good rebuttal. We'll see if you remember that when I say that 20 more times in the next year in front of different people.
But you see how long the jokes take? Like,
Yes.
the ideas got GPS coming out of that forehead.
Oh, man. They find their way, though, I guess.
They find it?
I guess so.
To be
I
fair,
say it all the time.
To be fair, we've done a lot of episodes together. It's the first time that you covered that entire blinding spot that you have your head. So I'm glad I can see it, because I didn't have to wear my sunglasses. So back to you, Mickey.
Yeah.
All right.
What's up?
So you're in Hampton Roads. You're slaying it. It's 2025.
Yeah.
What was your goals starting the year in 25, and have you gotten halfway there yet?
So goal was to acquire second investment property, so we are well on our way.
Nice.
And the next goal was to start at a higher price point. Again, for the last couple of years, I have really catered to the single demographic, and I will never abandon them.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work in those price points, as you guys know, especially as I, moved more towards the peninsula and, dealing with homes that weren't good, et cetera. So my big thing was like, okay, as I'm growing within the community and within my experience, and I can now say I've done this over a decade.
Yep.
With that, I want to come the higher price points. So my goal was to start the year with higher price points, and every one of my deals that I've worked on for this year has been above that price point that I had for the majority of my career. So that's been a big one for me as well. And then more intentional time and setting boundaries is big for me.
Yeah.
So my husband's off 3 days a week, and while everybody might get going on Monday is the one day where kids are at school, he's off. I don't work on Mondays. That's not my thing, which is completely opposite from like the go, it's Monday grind. I'm like, no, all you guys are going to be out working, and I get to actually be by myself everywhere. So I love that. I prepare for Tuesday knowing he's going to be gone. Tuesday is my Monday.
Gotcha.
Setting boundaries where I'm not having to leave my kids' baseball games, right? Because they're both in baseball, and just enjoying weekends and remembering why I'm doing all this has become very important to me. Seeing those text messages come through, it may be like 7:30, and everyone knows I'm up, but I'm not responding at 7:30 because everything is closed, and I'm not a first responder.
Yeah.
That was something that someone said to me that has stuck with me for real estate. Like, Mickey, we're not first responders. I was like, no, we're not. There's nothing I can do for you, right?
It takes a while to get past
that. 11 years in here. I say I locked that down like year 9.5 to 10.
Right.
Because I was definitely, you just want to help everyone.
Correct.
So setting those boundaries, I have stuck to that, and nobody's ever been upset. I respond first thing when I'm available the next morning, and that's it.
Because majority, it's not an emergency.
It's not. It's never an emergency. And if it was, and it's 8 o'clock, I still can't do anything about it for the most part.
The only clients I bend those rules for is like overseas.
100%.
That's it.
And I work with a lot of clients in Japan, so I'm either up early or I'm working late. Other than that, no.
But those are the one-offs, right? And then managing expectations in the beginning is huge. And to your point, I love your Monday analogy. I love your first responder analogy. I'm gonna take that because obviously you take it from what a first responder really is, and that's a valid point. You know, we have to set the boundaries because just like them, they have boundaries in their life. They don't need to tell us what they are. We don't need to know what they are, but there should be boundaries across the board in professionalism, knowing that if it's at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, I know it might be on your mind, but I can't do anything until the next day. Most of the time, like 9.9 times out of 10, because nothing's open until that. But I promise you, I'll follow you at 9 a.m. the next morning, right after I'm done with the gym.
Yep.
That's really what it is. Yeah. So 2025, you're on track to exceed your goals, it sounds like, which is awesome,
it is,
right?
It is.
That's great. Good. So then 2026 is here. We're talking about your peak life, okay? So you've reached a few peaks, aka you've reached a bunch of goals, but you're an overachiever.
I am.
I know that.
I am.
So, and kind of like us, we're overachievers. But the thing is, once you reach that peak, there's always another one.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because you don't just chill there. That's complacency. I call complacency is one of the worst drugs in the world because then that's where you
coast.
You like, and we've all been there. Yeah. We've all been like, all right, I'm here, I'm cool. And then it's, what the hell am I doing?
Pre-COVID was coast era.
Right.
That's how I look at it. And post-COVID is the peak era.
There you go. Yeah. Boom. So the thing is, and I've never said this to you, Edgar, and I listen to other podcasts and I listen to other.
It takes a while to get those thoughts out.
Individuals. No, my head's just so big I can absorb more information in yours. That's the cool part. So with that being said, there was a podcast I heard the other day. It's like, what if you never reached your peak? What if there's never a peak because you're always excelling? Yeah. Yep. So it's almost, when we say the word peak, that means we're putting a cap on something. When we say the word goal, why do we just have one? Yeah. Why is it like, your 1 year, 3 year, 5 year goal, right?
The finish line's the finish line until you run past it.
But there's never really a finish line, right? I mean, unless
we all say the same thing. We're never really going to retire.
I'm never retiring. You know what I'm saying? Will I pivot to not full blown pressing the gas? Well, maybe.
Well, also Mickey has boys, and you know what boys do? They get married and leave, right?
I know.
That's true.
That's a real thing.
They said they're never leaving me, for the record.
Yeah, we always say that.
Until they find that girl or they find that job, or
then you're the second.
I love the political correctness of that. I appreciate stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean that's a real thing. Yeah, and it's gonna happen. Yeah, they're gonna grow up. They're gonna work. You're not gonna be priority no more, and that's
and that's good.
Your feelings are gonna be hurt.
If they're safe enough to not make me a priority, that means I did my job.
Right.
If they're comfortable enough to move on, like, I can leave mom, I can go, I can be free, then I did my job.
That's true.
And I will be okay, and I will be out.
Then you're back on the island.
Are you on the island?
I'm everywhere. I'm going to be everywhere. That is the goal.
Yeah, but also, have you ever thought about buying properties outside of Virginia?
100%.
Okay.
Aruba is top of my list.
Nice.
Again, real estate everywhere. We were in what they call their South Beach down there in Aruba, and there was like a little stand down. They had houses listed. I'm just like,
yep.
How much is that in American dollars? Yep. And it's not a lot.
Yeah.
No, and they have full businesses down there, and I've been multiple times.
Way easy.
So I absolutely plan to purchase outside the United States. Yeah.
So
how could I not?
That's number one on your list outside of U.S., Aruba?
Yes.
Okay.
That's number one for me. From my experience so far would be Aruba or Dominican Republic.
DR?
I know a lot about that.
So what's your number 2 and 3? So what do you say, Aruba, DR?
For places to purchase?
Yeah, outside of U.S.
Oh, my goodness. That would be feasible, Paris.
Okay.
And
Aruba, Paris, and
Tokyo.
And Tokyo. Okay.
Just saw some videos recently about people purchasing houses for like nothing.
Yeah.
Like
that's outside of Tokyo, though. I know. I lived there for
I'm going to get in Tokyo.
No, but
Or
they are
something
those.
on the vicinity.
They sell the land, not the property.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
a different pricing because of that.
There you go.
What are your top 3 where you'd buy out of the country?
Mexico, Mexico, Mexico.
Ooh.
Well, you speak Spanish, so that helps. Okay.
Like that's
I mean, it's fair.
Yeah?
It's an
like
answer.
that's it
Yeah.
for me, honestly.
Might as well. All these people that gotta leave gotta have somewhere to live.
So mine is going to be,
Poor
in no
things.
particular order, Philippines, Dubai, and TBD. Because I've had a bunch of other ones on there. Philippines just strictly based on, my wife's Filipino, so we've been there multiple times. Our dollar to a ratio over there is just tenfold. I
Yeah.
mean, it's ridiculous what you
Yeah.
can get over there. And they're so Americanized over there. And she has so much family over there. It's just
Yeah.
crazy how much it would make sense. Dubai, more so recently I knew this for a while, but I've had a lot of people now I personally know that's been there. There's no tax in Dubai. You can, and everything that you make over there, the minute that you buy a condo or a house or something over there, you have, it's not citizenship, but it's the next closest thing to citizenship
Wow.
there. So you can open a business, you can open a bank account. And when you sell, it's all tax-free dollars. And it's cheaper to live over there than living here. People don't realize that.
What?
Exactly. So like,
Newsflash.
it's the Dubai world is crazy, and it's a lot of Americans over there. It's not just people from other places. So that right there has been a light bulb moment. And the TBD one is because now I feel like I'm on 2 different sides of the world. I was like, where else do I want to go? Mexico was kind of on that list as well too.
For me, it's I don't have to fly or take a boat, or I
You
can drive there if I want to.
That's a valid point.
Worst case
That is
can there,
valid.
everything's just I could drive there.
That's a valid point.
That's valid.
I'm gone.
Especially because these planes are doing some stuff.
Yeah,
right now.
that's
So
a good
it's-
point.
I mean, people get it twisted. It's like I think it's getting there. Top 15 economy in the world right now. So it's
awesome.
growing.
Word?
That's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, people always look at it as a third world country. It's like, no.
What? Does nobody remember Spring Break Cancun, Tierra?
All day.
Like
Yes,
MTV?
all day.
Like I don't know why anybody
No, but,
sleeps
like,
on
everything-
Mexico. They've been getting money for years.
That's very true.
Yeah. So it's like the economy's growing, business is booming.
Yeah.
So and yeah,
awesome.
family and everything that's
Right,
there. It's
right.
super easy. I know it. I used to live there every summer.
I mean, I guess my third one, if I had to put on, would be Puerto Rico because I'm Puerto Rican, right? But it is from a cost, it's extremely comparable to U.S. So it's not necessarily saving on that one. It's just saying that I got a place in Puerto Rico because that's where I am. It's like you saying you have a place in Mexico because you're Mexican, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
But
I
my
like
wife,
that.
honestly, she wants to move to Mexico.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, because you
She
can
really
drive
does.
there. That's a valid point. That's like
Yeah,
saying I want to
like-
live in Toronto because it's
Like
just right over the border.
$1,200 to $1,500. That's middle class living a month.
That's peace.
Wow.
But I feel that same way about the Philippines. I can make 30 bands a year passively over there and be a baller.
I was gonna say,
it's
my little
nuts.
brother's Filipino, so when he was just here in March, we were watching videos on YouTube at all these places, and we did watch some some videos for the Philippines.
Well,
people
here's
moving
the
over
weird
there.
part. Like when you go there, and I stay with some of my family members over there, and they got maids and everything. They're like, "Oh, where are you wearing tomorrow so I could get it ready?" I was
Correct.
Like, don't touch my clothes. Yeah, I got it. It's so weird because we're not used to
Yes.
that lifestyle,
I
right?
know.
It's like I got it. Don't worry about
There's
it. And
so
they're
much that we're
aggressive.
not
Like,
used to in
no, we're
America.
gonna iron your clothes.
Yeah.
What do you want for breakfast?
That's their job. That's how they
Yeah.
feed their family, right? It's the same thing in the Philippines. We're there. I'm like, we have a nanny for like $20 a day. I feel bad. Here's take a little bit more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not what like a nanny over here,
Yeah.
$20 an hour,
An hour.
minimum.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's just a different culture. Again, it's where you grew up at,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's the cultural
Well-
differences that it's not different to them. It's just different to us.
So what I did also, speaking of nanny, so like instead of getting a nanny because I had young children when I first got here, started doing real estate. Instead of spending my money on daycare, I moved my mom here and just bought another house. That was my first house that I
love
bought,
Genius.
I
which was
love
like
that.
less than half the price. I paid $750 a month.
Wow. Trying to
2018,
get my mama here.
bought it for $120.
That is awesome.
To be fair, like you've been in the game for 11 years now, but the past 5 years have been life changing,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So COVID was a blessing in a way,
In disguise for me.
right?
Yeah, I had to operate scared.
Operate scared. So you've been. What's on the other side? What do they say? Risk is on the other side of fear.
Yeah.
Or success is on the other side of
Yeah.
fear. Excuse
Yeah.
me. So
Gotta do it sometime.
you were already successful. It just took something to get that out of you.
Yeah.
And it turned out probably that time frame of giving you that time back is really what helped you excel to get to
Yes.
where you're going. Because it's not you're not, like you're there, but again, peak. Like you're gonna keep
so
going.
Many more,
right?
So many more stops.
Okay, you're just getting started, girl.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So 2020
Next 26.
Yeah. What's that? What's in line for you there?
I want to retire my husband.
Okay.
That is the
Dope.
big goal. His coworkers joke about it. He's just like, I hear you. I'm like, oh, it's happening. It's very realistic. I ask him all the time what the number is.
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to be realistic. And I understand that it's so many things that come from you leaving the safe 9 to 5,
Yep.
right? It's the 401k that's not getting contributed to by default.
Yep.
Until we set it up, then it's the health insurance that will not have to be all out of pocket.
Yep. Mhm.
Right? It's all of those things. So what's the number? And realize and just kind of walk him through again. I show him videos and pages of people who are doing this.
Yeah.
To show them like, hey, I know that I can be the million idea a minute person, but I've been doing this for 11 years. You see me, you tell me you're proud of me, now I need to see that you trust me.
Yeah.
And the HELOC happening is that first huge step,
Right.
showing me that because that house is in his name, right?
Okay.
That house was purchased when we were still dating. And from, again, learning what I learned in real estate, I didn't want to be on the deed. I'm your wife now. I know that paperwork is done. That will be my house if and when it needs to be.
Yep.
I protected my first-time homebuyer status, right, by
Yep.
not getting on the deed. So the trust that he gave me there was huge. So now I want to repay that by having him be with me.
Yeah.
He is my emotional support husband. That's what I refer to him as. I just function
He
better
wears a
when he's
jacket
around.
with the
Yeah,
little
he does.
sticker.
This is
Got it.
perfect. I was like, come here, my cute little golden retriever. But he's just wonderful. He grounds
Damn,
me.
he can't be a Doberman?
No,
Like,
not, he doesn't know. It's a golden retriever. It's
All
a
right,
whole
all right.
thing
Sorry,
online, okay? My husband is not a Doberman, okay? He is a golden retriever.
Okay,
Literally,
okay.
golden
That's
boy.
funny.
But yeah, that's big goals for me because I know that I operate better when I have an accountability partner. There's no one better for me than the other half of my family.
100%.
That makes sense.
That's the goal. That's the big goal. He doesn't think it's going to happen in a year. He probably doesn't really want to retire in a year, but you figure you throw enough money in that bank account, he's going to stop clocking in at
Facts.
some point. So
That's
that's just
true.
the goal. I won't ever force him into it. I talk about it enough that he's intrigued and he's interested and he's ready.
Yeah.
But that's a huge step. He
Yeah.
comes from a very structured family.
Right.
His debit card says he's been a member since 88.
Yeah.
The year he was born, okay? Please, I've switched bank accounts 15 times. While you're broke, you got to go to who's going to let you have the account. So complete opposites.
Yeah.
Right? I'm willing to take the risk because I've had nothing.
Yeah.
And he's scared to take the risk because he's always had whatever he's needed.
Yeah.
So we met with a financial advisor actually a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
And that was some of what we touched on, like complete opposites, but we still complement each other in that way. So that's the big goal.
There's a healthy medium when it comes to the yin and yang.
Yeah.
Like imagine if he was just like you.
Oh my God, no.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I
and-
can. Oh my God.
I feel the same way about Myra, my wife. It's like we're good yin and yang, even though, and same with you. You and Cookie, like she grounds the hell out of you, literally. She'll bowl your ass over if she needs to. She'll ground you on the ground when we play football. But outside of that, Myra mentally grounds me, humbles me on purpose because I want to go, and she wants to go with me on purpose. But she's the slow and steady. She has the gig. She knows that she's worked with the government. Like 4 more years, she'll hit the retirement status. Okay. So the goal is the same. I want to retire her when that happens. Yep. But it's also when that happens, and that was her having that slow and steady was allowed me to take the risks.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like that was huge.
Yes.
So thank you, Myra, because you trusted me on that one. But it's more so I don't take that lightly. You don't take that lightly. You don't take that lightly. They allowed the slow and steady to keep the lifestyle going, not just the bread, but being able to hold down the crib while we're going crazy and figuring things out, because that was our promise to not just ourselves, but to them to keep doing this. Now that we get to the point, like, oh, I think we actually might be doing all right. You know what I'm saying? Like now we can do that. Yep. That's going to be the next fear to overcome, right? Yeah. Okay. What are we going to be in a place like Cookie? That was dope. She's retired from the military, so she's consistent the rest of her life. But that's coming in. She don't have to quit. That's dope. And I mean, she served her time. She deserves every penny of that. And that anybody in that situation does, right? But now that allows you to stay consistent in what you told that you're going to do like 8-9 years ago when y'all came here, which is dope. So now with you, it's the same thing. With me, it's the same thing. I just got to hit that. Hers is the 4-year mark. It makes no sense to stop before 20 and you actually like your job. Like that's going to make, but then when that happens, you still can't access that bread till 59 and a half. It's not like military and you ain't nowhere close to that yet.
Right.
And we ain't accounting for it.
We going to go, like that's there. We'll worry about that joint, but it makes no sense when we're going to be at the spot that I know we're going to be at to keep broken. Because then what's going to happen? He is going to get the time. Then it's like the next level. What's going to happen once you get that time? Shit, you're going to be like, yeah, we're going to buy 5 rentals this year.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean? Like
100%.
it's going to happen.
You know what was nice? To tell my mom, like, go ahead and withdraw the 401k. You don't even need that in there. Go spend it.
That's huge, bro.
You're going to be penalized? Who gives a fuck?
It's an internal flex that's like, thank you for allowing me to be here.
Yes.
Straight up. Like that's huge, bro.
Yeah, it's nice. Like you want go travel, mom. Like get the hell out of here. What do you want to do? Go visit your brother. Go.
Yeah.
When do you want to travel? She's like, oh, but what about they'll be all right.
Yeah. Everything will be okay.
You'll be all right.
To be able to tell my mom.
And then now my wife, she was like, oh, I got a wedding August 29th. All right.
Bye.
Like,
bye.
It's all good. It's all good.
That is a different. That drives the hustle, right?
Yeah.
I'm gentle with the word hustle, I like it and I don't like it.
Yeah.
But that for me, it was always like the big thing that I know I made it was my first designer bag. I'd always told myself, even when I could have done it, that I will never buy a designer purse until I own a house.
There you go.
Right. So I waited. It was when we bought our house. And we went to Vegas to go see, and I got to walk into an actual Louis store and just swipe. I had the highest sell of my career at that point. I had just closed. I was like, okay, this is something different. And being able to just do whatever I need to for my family, for myself, and not have to check the bank account all the time like I was just used to doing it. I'm talking about, and I still do it because it's been, a long time of having to, so it's still like the default. But now you get to check and be like, that's different. But I remember the first time I made in a month what I had made in a year, and I was like, oh my God, everybody deserves this. And then I get angry, right? Because I'm just like, I make a lot of money sometimes, right? And you should be making the same thing. So I tell my friends now, it's been heavy this year. Like, if y'all don't let me make you rich, I'm going to be mad.
Facts.
Right? I will be the guinea pig with the whole fix and flip and buying holes. Like, I will be the guinea pig. But then when it's time, if y'all don't listen to me, if I can't call you in the middle of the day and y'all aren't at work, I'm going to be upset.
Facts.
I'm ready for everyone to be able to go play with me.
Right.
Well, I'm ready to enjoy my family. I love my friends.
You bring up a good point about being upset. Like, you make so much money and it's there.
Yes.
And not to, this is not like a shot at single moms or anything like that. But obviously running a firm, I deal with a lot of that, right? And with that comes some excuses, but also we live in a country where you do get subsidies and things like that. And I'd be like, you got a little foundation.
Yeah.
Go work.
Yeah.
Like, we're telling you, and here we're very open about how we get leads or how you can get leads or whatever. And I would say, my wife's deployed. She ain't coming back for 8 months. Guess who's got 3 kids at home?
Oh my God.
We're living the same life.
Opposite. She usually
but I'm still selling
Truly.
10 mil,
Yeah.
right? So it would have, and this goes out to everybody, whether you're on unemployment or whatever the case may be, you got something coming in. Take advantage of the time now.
Yeah.
Have to.
Where do you want to go
You
with
have
this?
to. I want to go off of it.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I want to go off it. Like, it's fun, it's cute, but it's not sustainable, and you can't afford anything on it. Like, I'll take the snapback any day of the week. I don't know what I'm making, for the record. Give me that grocery card. I think we all should get at least $100 a month. This stuff just costs too much. Okay,
Swipe. Yeah.
I will take it. I ain't too proud.
But you gotta think about it. You're getting paid without having to do anything with your time, right? For that moment, which gives you the opportunity to start the videos or whatever the case may be. But I was like, well, what are you doing? So you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna get the same results.
Yeah.
Nothing. You
don't
work.
like to hear those cliches, but it's just
It's facts,
You don't
though.
work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. Mike Jones.
But it's one of those things, like, when you start getting those, and I think we've all had that. You're either gonna excel or you're gonna chill, and we chilled at one point. Like, I was getting that. I knew I was getting EBT. I knew I had WIC. I knew I had all that. This is in my 20s when I heard my oldest ones, right? And we needed in a position to do that, but I still had 3 gigs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was still rocking. We weren't married, so she had this to help with what we were doing with the goal to end that.
Yeah.
But then some people just get so complacent with that coming in,
Right.
and they take advantage of the system, and they
They
live
find
on
that
that
to be
shit the rest of their lives.
to be easier than
Than going to work.
But you have all this time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You're
know.
not taking advantage of the time and the
That's it.
opportunities. We live in the land of the free.
Right.
We live in the land of the place that you can make a choice to make $1 million or $10.
Well, that's what I would say. Like, kids are at school, you're getting paid, you're getting some kind of form of get your ass out.
Take advantage of it.
Nowadays, there's too many. I've monetized everything.
Correct.
And I've had a month, if I'm not closing a deal, I'm like, okay, well, I remember 5 people asked me about Flowdesk. That's when I posted, so bet. I take 24 hours and create an entire course and sell it and make $4,000 in a day.
Boom.
Like, I've done that multiple times. Like, okay, I didn't sell a house, the deal fell through. Bet. What do y'all want to learn today? You need to know how to make a reel? Class.
Easy.
Like,
There's a couple.
That's
listen,
my
there's
thing.
a couple of agents I know, and I was looking at the first quarter number. I'm not gonna call them out or anything. They're still hustling. And this is not a shot either. But I noticed that they pivoted. They weren't doing real estate, but they were online on TikTok selling everything on the shop.
Yeah.
Like marathons. And at the time, I didn't get it because it was like a new thing. And then I started seeing what they're really making. I was like, oh, yeah, I see why they're on there for
Crazy,
8
right?
hours straight.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And that's at your own house, just recording yourself
know.
online.
That's what I'm saying, yo.
I work with Office Depot. I'm talking about they're sending me gift cards and paying me. So I wanted to, at one point, I was planning to redo my home office. And I'm a manifester. I believe in the power of the universe. And I was like, I'm about to do my home office. It wasn't any more than a few weeks later that I got an email from Office Depot like, hey, we're doing this whole office refresh thing. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. Absolutely, sign me up. I got paid. I got a free office. I'm talking about my printer, anything I wanted from Office Depot.
Yeah.
And I've gotten multiple deals like that. And it's just, again, using and I tie back to real estate. Yeah, I redid my office, but I redid my office to make it more functional for my job.
There you go. Right.
All roads lead back to real
You can just
estate.
get Louis V in the entire office, right?
No, oh my
you
God,
just
ew.
get
Oh no, my God.
There's a time and a place for it.
Oh my
but
God,
it's
time and a place.
But the time and place is that you're here.
Yeah.
It's 2025. You're hitting your goals. You're living your best life. You made a dope ass pivot a few years ago that's worked out drastically. Most importantly, you're changing lives along the way. Okay. So I'm gonna end on this one.
Okay.
But your peak life, all right? You're living a peak that you said that you were gonna do. What's your next goal that you want to hit so that when you look at this podcast in a year, you can hold yourself accountable, knowing that you said you were gonna do this, you're gonna manifest it.
Okay.
And then you come back here a year later because you're gonna see, we're gonna post, we're gonna tag you.
Yeah.
It's gonna pop up in the memory. And you're gonna be like, wait, let me see that. What was that? And then just make sure that we know that you did that. And it could be anything. Family, life, health, business, it doesn't matter. There's just, what is that one goal that you know you've been telling yourself like in your mind the past few months that you want to do so we can hold you accountable today?
It is going to be to run my home as efficiently as I've learned to run my business. So that is making sure that my kids have structure because, of course, what I've learned work for myself, it's hard.
Yeah.
And someone who has the, ADHD like I do, that is a hard part for me. So running my home as efficiently as I've learned to run I have a TC, right? I delegate.
Yeah.
Hire someone to clean the house, Mickey. I don't know why I won't do it,
Right.
right? So fill in the gaps that I may not be able to fill at home because I'm hustling so much in my career.
Yeah.
I want my home life to run efficiently. I want my kids to get me the same way my clients do when I'm setting that time aside for them. I want to have, the system set up in my business so that if it is family time, I don't have to quick send the email because it's set up to be sent. That my home time is my home time and work time is work time, unless it calls for it, right? We always have those emergencies if it comes to that. But that's it for me. I want home to run as efficiently as I've learned to run my business, and then it'll be full circle for me.
That's a good one. Yeah. I like that. I'm going to take that.
Okay.
I'm gonna borrow that
Take
too.
Because I'm here for the gems.
Like you said, we got to try to do the best that we can, and
Yeah.
it's always just learning by just failing forward.
Yeah.
And never stopping. Mickey, it was really dope having you on the show
It was
today.
so fun to be here.
But I want to
Thank
know.
you.
They want to know. How
Yeah.
can we find you?
Okay,
Social and everything.
I'm on Instagram at Mickey Wright, MICKEY WRIGHT_. TikTok is Mickey Wright Realtor, and Facebook Mickey Wright RE.
Dope.
All right.
Perfect. And what's your TikTok shop so I can buy those shades?
These are Versace, baby.
And we're going Timo and get Sachi. I ain't gonna get Versace.
There you go,
all right?
Sachi or Vermo.
I can't get anything.
Well, it's because they won't fit your head, so that works.
These are snug. They might not. They
Danny
hurt.
jumping in on
Listen, they hurt me every now and then.
All
I'll tell
right.
you that.
All right.
They
We
a
just
little snug.
went to another level of our relationship then.
I had to get one.
You gotta get one. Had to get one.
Gotcha.
Hey, Armado Iron Valley, we got your back. She got my back, bro. So I appreciate that. Edgar the Sphere Munoz tuning in. DJ Julian Rivera. Another episode here of Your Peak Life podcast. Follow us, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, at DJ Julian Rivera, Iron Valley. Talk to you later. Deuces.
All right.